let's look at a company in the healthcare at home megatrend. First off, read this disclaimer carefully and do your good deed of the day by liking and subscribing. So here are the megatrends. Healthcare at home. Very, very interesting theme. Here are all these stocks that are a part of it. Tandem Diabetes Care is the company we will look at. This is the distance from the low and the high. You see here that the average performance of the theme is significantly outperforming the S&P 500. Okay. First off, this right here is the company's website. So technology that grows with kids. Get the updatable T-Slim X2 insulin pump with Control IQ technology. So this is a very modern way to manage diabetes. So insulin pump therapy. Like a healthy pancreas, insulin pumps deliver one type of insulin. Using your personal pump settings, insulin is delivered continuously and in larger doses for meals. I mean, this is this is very fancy stuff. Very interesting. Very interesting, and diabetes is a huge public health issue. So here is TNDM, the chart. Tandem Diabetes Care. So one of the first things that jumps at me is that we do have this rounding bottom pattern that is bullish. You could also argue that you could make some case that it has a little bit of an inverse head and shoulder-ish pattern as well. So it's a bit of a combination pattern. But anyway, both of these are bullish patterns. You can see here the 100-week moving average, resistance level. Then resistance becomes support. We are testing that moving average rather vigorously at the moment. Ideally, you do want something like this where we bounce and then rally. And the bulls are dilly-dallying a bit too much. But so far, this is a bullish technical setup. You see here that the RSI is at a low level that tends to attract buyers. Accumulation distribution is looking healthy. Yeah, so long-term interesting pattern. There's a 74% positive correlation with S&P 500. Looking here at the daily data points. So notwithstanding this pullback in price, accumulation has been rather steady. We don't have any dramatic deterioration. We do see that the moving averages, there are some bearish signals here on the daily moving averages. That is a bit unfortunate, but we did have very solid support at the 100-week moving average here in the blue. Okay. You could make the case that there are some horizontal support levels as well here. The more bearish take would be that we do have an inverse trading. Well, I guess you could call it a bearish opportunity in the form of a head and shoulders pattern. Let's explore this one a bit further, because there are some conflicting signals as you see. Looking at RSI, we are in the neutral zone. It tends to stay within, at least after the surge, the breakout. It has stayed within the RSI zone, not being too overbought or oversold. Okay. Interestingly, here on the daily data points, you have a 76% negative correlation with S&P 500. So a huge difference here between long-term and short-term correlations. If we go here to find the seasonality of Tandem, then you can see that April it tends to be significantly more bullish than March, and this is the beginning of April. Interesting, and you can see that the seasonality gets stronger heading towards August. So we are in a strong season for Tandem, a bullish season. Finviz, they do draw these trend lines, Support. We did bounce from support. When we look here at the average analyst price target, and there are quite a few, big companies covering the stock. They suggest a 44% upside from the current levels. If we go to Saks.com, they have a number 3 hold, a D value, but they do have a growth score. It is really bullish, of course, to see a growth score. B momentum, VGM of B. Industry rank, bottom 33%, not that good. The market cap, it is actually a rather sizable company. $5.5-ish billion in market cap, no dividend. Beta is very low, and that is, good if you are not a huge fan of, very high beta. Yeah, I think that this looks rather interesting. So I think that when we take, the evidence together here, looking at the theme, healthcare at home, I am bullish on the theme. I think that it's a very powerful trend. People want to have more and more of their healthcare outside of the institutional framework, where it's like, yeah, the hospital or a nursing home. Hence, any kind of service that enable you to get the same care at home, that's obviously going to be something that is very much in demand. Looking at the fundamentals, they were definitively bullish. The seasonality also suggests that we are going towards a much better period. So I think that when we take it all together, it is much easier to make a bullish case for Tandem at these levels than a bearish case. So looking years into the future, I would certainly lean bullish. Looking long term, we are emerging from this rounding bottom pattern. We do have a nice support level in the form of the 100-week moving average. Looking at the coming, the shorter time frame, then I would also lean bullish. Let's quickly look at what's happening here with, some relevant ETFs. Here is the XLV, the Healthcare Select Spider ETF. Certainly been on a big rally. Very strong momentum, but you could certainly make the case that if you look at it historically, if we go here to the daily data points, we do have a tendency to revisit this red 200-day moving average every now and then. It is rare for us to go protracted periods without revisiting it. The last time we took a trip down to that key moving average, that was 157 days ago, which historically is, a rather protracted time. How long was this? So this right here, it was, that was 366 days. So that was an example where it took even longer, but then you did see, a rather substantial crash from the highs. From the high to the low, it was approaching minus 15%. So yeah, I would not be surprised to see us revisit that moving average. Currently, we do have actually a rather interesting bullish pattern here. We do have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So that could certainly fuel more momentum to the upside. But there is this caveat that it is quite some time since we took a trip down there. Yeah, a very interesting case, a very interesting theme, and stay tuned for more.